Hello friends, welcome to my channel Cryptic Wisdom. Today's story will teach us that the true value of life is not in what we possess, but in the wisdom to let go of what weighs us down and the clarity to see the beauty of the present moment. So friends, let's start today's story. In a serene village nestled between lush valleys, there lived a young man named Hiroshi. He was known for his ambition and tireless pursuit of wealth and status. Hiroshi believed that the true value of life was measured by the material possessions one could acquire. From dawn till dusk, he worked endlessly, climbing the ladder of success, amassing wealth, and collecting accolades. One day, as Hiroshi was walking through the village, he encountered a monk who was passing by. The monk, with a gentle smile, observed Hiroshi's restless demeanor and said, "Young man, I see a fire in your eyes, but I also see a shadow on your soul. What is it that you seek so desperately?" Hiroshi replied, "I seek to be the greatest in all the land, to have everything I desire. Only then will I find peace." The monk nodded and said, "There is a mountain beyond this village called the Mountain of Desires. It is said that those who climb it will find what they truly seek. But be warned, the journey is not what it seems." Intrigued, Hiroshi decided to embark on the journey to the Mountain of Desires. He packed his finest clothes, his most precious belongings, and set off, confident that this journey would finally fulfill his endless cravings. As he began his ascent, Hiroshi noticed the path was lined with countless treasures, each more alluring than the last. He gathered as many as he could, filling his bags and pockets until they overflowed. The higher he climbed, the more he realized that the weight of his possessions was slowing him down. But Hiroshi, blinded by greed, refused to let go. Days turned into weeks, and Hiroshi found himself exhausted, burdened by the very treasures he had sought. The summit still seemed far away, and his strength was waning. One evening, as he rested beside a stream, he met an old man who was descending the mountain with nothing but a simple walking stick. The old man, noticing Hiroshi's struggle, asked, "Why do you carry so much with you?" Hiroshi replied, "These treasures are the key to my happiness and fulfillment. I must reach the summit with them to truly understand the value of my life." The old man chuckled softly and said, "The weight you carry is not of treasures, but of desires. The true value of your life is not found in what you possess, but in what you let go." Confused and frustrated, Hiroshi ignored the old man's words and continued his climb. But as the days passed, the burden became unbearable. His once grand vision of reaching the summit with all his wealth faded into a desperate struggle for survival. Finally, one night, under the light of the full moon, Hiroshi collapsed from exhaustion. In that moment of despair, he remembered the monk's words, "The journey is not what it seems." With a heavy heart, Hiroshi began to release the treasures he had collected. One by one, he let them go, feeling the weight lift from his shoulders. As the last of his possessions fell away, Hiroshi felt an overwhelming sense of relief. The path ahead, once shrouded in darkness, now seemed clear and inviting. With a lighter heart and empty hands, Hiroshi continued his ascent. The mountain, once treacherous and foreboding, now seemed serene and welcoming. He no longer felt the need to rush or conquer. Instead, he moved with the rhythm of the mountain, appreciating the beauty of each step. As he climbed higher, Hiroshi noticed that the air became purer and his mind clearer. He began to see the world in a new light, not as something to be conquered, but as something to be experienced. The sunrises were more vivid, the breeze more refreshing, and the silence more profound. Hiroshi felt a deep connection to everything around him, a connection he had never experienced before. One evening, as Hiroshi reached a plateau near the summit, he encountered the monk once again. The monk, with his gentle smile, greeted him and said, "You have come far, young man. Tell me, what have you discovered?" Hiroshi, with newfound humility, replied, "I have discovered that the true value of life is not in what we seek to gain, but in what we are willing to let go. The treasures I carried were nothing but illusions, weighing me down and clouding my mind. Only when I released them did I begin to see clearly." The monk nodded in approval. "You have learned an important lesson, Hiroshi. The summit is not a place, but a state of mind. It is the realization that life's true value lies in simplicity, in being present, and in the freedom from the desires that bind us." Hiroshi smiled, feeling a sense of peace that he had never known. He understood now that the journey was never about reaching the summit, but about discovering the truth within himself. The mountain of desires had shown him that the path to fulfillment is not found in accumulation, but in letting go. As the sun set behind the mountains, casting a golden glow over the land, Hiroshi sat with the monk in silence. He no longer felt the need to be the greatest, the richest, or the most powerful. He had found something far more valuable, the true essence of his being. In that moment of clarity, Hiroshi realized that the true value of life is not measured by external achievements, but by the depth of one's inner peace and understanding. And with this realization, he knew that he had finally found what he had been searching for all along.